All right, there it is. Now we live, man. Go ahead and introduce the show to the folks.
How's it going, everybody? This is the Speak Up podcast, and today we'll be covering the third episode of the One Gotta Go tournament. And just to recap the tournament, the past couple of episodes, we've basically been going through groups of 4 people, and we chose those groups of people because we thought that they've done something that is deplorable or something that is like disrespectful or in some way represents themselves, represents America, and represents Black people in a negative light. So right now we have chosen 4 more people in the round 3 of this tournament. We have Diamond and Silk, we have Candace Owens, we have the Hodge Twins, and then we have Doja Cat. So first, I'm going to start off with Diamond and Silk. Diamond and Silk. So basically these women are like social media influencers who are very conservative leaning. They're major Trump supporters. They've been cited saying a lot of ignorant comments, but I know lately one of the craziest things they said was actually regarding the vaccine. I'm actually going to play a clip from them of them talking about the vaccine, just a small portion of it, just to give y'all an idea of basically the mentality that these women have. It's a really crazy kind of mentality. Basically, they just completely disregard like the virus and disregard the the aspect of the vaccine and whatnot and how important it probably is for all of us. But I'm gonna play this real quick so y'all can get an idea what I'm talking about.
For sure. You think you can put that volume up?
So you couldn't hear the video?
No, couldn't hear much of it.
Very low.
No,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since you couldn't hear, I'll just sum it up. Basically, what they were saying is that with the vaccine, it's like it's one of those conspiracies that's going around where basically they're saying the vaccine is like an opportunity for them to implement population control, and it's not really going to actually solve the virus. It kind of goes along the lines of like what people say, the vaccine it's going to be a way for them to implant a microchip into people and control and watch people's movements and silly stuff like that. And the thing is, though, it is. I have to admit, it is fishy that Bill Gates is so behind the vaccination efforts, considering that he has nothing to do with the medical industry. Like, he's a tech guy, computers. That's weird to me. What do y'all think?
Yeah. I think it's weird, but I don't know. I think just like believing the vaccine or the corona is man-made for a population thing. It's just like a conservative thing or some hotel nonsense you'll hear. Not really like.
Well, the aspect of being man-made, there's a lot of people who have been saying that people are outside of American political spectrum. Even South Korea was actually right after the outbreak started back in February. They were the first ones to declare that the virus was probably man-made. So I wouldn't even attribute that to them. To them saying it, there's a lot of people saying it. There's a lot of quote unquote whistleblowers. Some of them have been debunked. There was this one doctor, I believe, I can't remember his name, Dr. Whaley or something. Apparently, she said that she's a whistleblower from China who who was basically like a doctor or something. And the thing is, she was actually paid by she's actually part of one of Steve Bannon's organizations, right? One of his organizations who created this narrative about the coronavirus being man-made. So she works with them and she might have helped peddle that narrative. I think she might have been in America this entire time. She might not have actually basically exiled from China and came to or defected to America. So I don't know. There's a major aspect to this that I really don't know.
I mean, this is what I want to say, man.
Everything is fishy. I don't know what to believe with all this.
Okay, I mean, here's the thing when it comes to everything with Bill Gates and being into vaccines. Basically, any billionaire can be into anything. I mean, what's his name? Elon Musk is he's a billionaire and he's a tech guy. He got his billions doing
but
space science. You know what I mean? Like
I know like
you-
that they claim to be they receive racism for getting fired from Fox News.
yeah, they got fired from, but what I'm talking about for as far as Bill Gates and everything like that with him being into vaccines. When you look at Elon Musk, he first got his billions by being into satellites and space science, and now he's into self-driving cars. So it's not like people can't switch industries. You feel me? Bill Gates has always been a very charitable person. Yeah, you feel me? So I don't feel there's anything wrong necessarily with him getting into helping the world out with being getting vaccinated and everything like that, because like at the end of the day, like vaccines do save people's lives. We need to start getting away from this thought process that everything is some sort of conspiracy to
wipe
either
out the black
depopulate
man.
people or to wipe out the black man. Exactly. Not everything is done to wipe out black people. It's ridiculous. We have to stop believing stuff like that. You know what I mean? And as far as Bill Gates goes, like I've looked into every single conspiracy that's about this guy. None of it is true. Like none of it has.
Would you say I heard something about wiping out the black man?
Yeah, it's exactly. Like we have to get away from this whole notion that anything that's done is being used to wipe out the black man. Like it's ridiculous. We got to get away from that. You feel me? Like I think that's one of the things that hold us back a lot. You feel me? That's one of the mentalities I believe that hold us back a lot, because you can't go to this school because it's gonna be is ran by racists. They're gonna try to brainwash you to wipe out the black man. You can't go to this place because it's a whole another thing to wipe out the black man. Like it's ridiculous. We
Do you
just
think
can't keep believing these things.
you think
You
it's
know what I
just
mean?
like
And
it's like
as far as this,
you think it's like a major fear tactic or like a
I'm sorry,
almost like a super over, it's like an exaggerated paranoia that black people had that just based on our past and stuff, it's like it's almost like we're kind of exaggerating the aspect. It's like we assume that we're living in the same environment that we were living in 50 to 100 years ago, when
yeah,
of course racism still exists, but it's nowhere near to the aspect of it that it was back in the day. It's a lot more covert.
right, exactly. That's what I want. That's what I want to bring out. Like racism still. I don't want to diminish the racism that we still go through today. Of course, it still exists. Like no one is saying that it doesn't exist anymore. What we need to understand is the nuance of all this. You know what I mean? Of course, covert racism is still around. Of course, there's discrimination in the job market and in the criminal justice system and in healthcare. Of course, there's still discrimination there. Even the American Medical Association has said that racism is a health problem because there are many doctors and nurses who don't take the health of black people seriously. There are many psychiatrists who don't take the mental health of black people seriously. Of course, that is still around, but there is no grand conspiracy to depopulate us and wipe us out. Like that just doesn't exist. That's one of the things that we have to get.
I would actually counter that, though. I would actually counter that, but not just specifically black people. Have you heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
No, what's that?
Okay, so the Georgia Guidestones, they're like some stones. They almost like some Stonehenge looking stuff. I don't know, but it's crazy. Basically, there's these stones that are like set up, and then basically with these stones, it has like this very eerie message that says like something about they want the world population to be reduced to 500 million. And like it's literally located in Georgia. Actually, I'm gonna pull it up real quick, and I want you to see this. What the message is on the Georgia Guidestones.
I mean,
And
yeah,
the
sure.
thing is, I think it was actually built in 1980. That's when the Guidestones were built and constructed.
Okay, I mean, look, I'm not saying that stuff like that doesn't exist. There might be cults out there that want to wipe out the human race or stuff like that. But what is the most important thing is that does this have significant traction in people who actually run the world governments, world like transnational corporations, people who actually have the power to do it. You feel me? Does that actually exist? Does that idea, or does that movement, does that actually exist amongst them? And I would say no. I don't see any proof of that. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm just reading now. It just says things like maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. It has a lot of other tenets within the guide stone. So it's pretty interesting, and no one really knows who constructed it. So I don't know. You never know. You never know, to be honest.
You never know. I'm not gonna discount anybody who's crazy, who's part of the government.
One person. That's a group. I don't think one person would have built stones like these.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like I said, I don't deny that there are groups out there who believe in things like this, but the people who can actually do something about it, transnational corporations,
Yes.
Influencers, governments, are they actually putting this plan into motion? Like, does this idea of depopulating the world actually has traction amongst world governments, influential world governments, like countries like Russia, the United States, Iran, Saudi Arabia, France? Are their governments actually putting, or actually have a plan, or not a plan, but have the notion in their has a narrative in their governments to depopulate the world? Does that exist amongst them? And there's really no evidence of that. You feel what I'm saying? So
they probably don't want to do it. The thing is, if they do, I'm not sure if they will want to do it in a malicious way, but I do think there is a huge interest in trying to reduce the birth rate in Africa and India. Like, I know, I believe Bill Gates he's had a major hand in trying to reduce the birth rate in India through, I guess it's probably less non-invasive practices such as promoting birth control and stuff like that. And I believe he may have done that in Africa as well. I'm not really sure, but I know he's done that heavily in India. But that's not malicious, so I don't think that's exactly what they're talking about.
Exactly right, and that's what I want to get into, because people promote controlling the birth rate. All of a sudden, it becomes a bad thing. Like, a very extremely high birth rate, a lot of people don't realize that's not a good thing. A high birth rate, that means that more kids are dying. You know what I mean? So, like, people don't look at the other side of this. Like, just because people have 5 to 7 kids on average doesn't mean it's a good thing. They're having 5 to 7 kids on average because 3 of them die. You know what I mean? So 3 of them die.
Generation before, and they haven't caught up yet to the medical advancements in their country.
Exactly. And he's promoting birth control and wearing condoms because the AIDS virus has ravaged Africa. You feel me? There are countries where half of the young people are living with HIV, and this can be eliminated just by people wearing condoms. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to stop sexuality. Like, the Catholic Church is going to be all up in there trying to control people's sexuality. The young people are going to have sex. You feel me? But they're having sex without condoms, without birth control. And what is happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, AIDS is spreading ravagely quickly throughout Africa. It's decreasing now only because condom use has gone up. You know what I mean? So these are things we got to think about. But that's on the tangent. We want to kind of went on a tangent. You feel me? Let's go back to coal and cotton. My problem with coal and cotton is that coal and cotton are pretty much just like the beige weightlifters and Kundis over there. You feel me? Like, they're exactly the same way, man. They have no type of policy position at all. All they say is liberals bad. You feel me? And that goes for all 3 of them. The beige twins and Candace Owens and Diamond and Silk, all 3 of them. That's one thing I can say about all 3 of them. They have no policy position, and I've had an issue with them with that for a while.
All they do is point out issues with no solution. They just complain.
No solutions.
Complain and say, "Oh, left is bad." Boo hoo.
Exactly. That's all they say.
Trump. All issues are solved.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what I think what makes them damaging is that they put on a minstrel show. You feel me? Like if you look at Diamond and Silk, they look like your typical auntie. You know what I
They
mean?
look
Like
like some black
if
women
you
in
were
church, bro. Honestly, they look like them church
exactly
ladies. They like them church ladies that catch the Holy Ghost. They're Jesus
exactly
Lord. That's what they
exactly
look
that.
like. And then the way
They
they
look like the
talk, it almost sounds
OJs,
like
this
the
type of
ghost.
exactly. You feel me? They look like the OJs, this type of black woman. You feel me? And
Yeah.
what I feel is damaging about that is that's a caricature. We all know that black people are different. We're not a monolith, but they go ahead and put on a caricature and just put a conservative slant on it, and it makes it makes it acceptable, more palatable to we know who makes it palatable too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Folks who look at us and already have a caricature in their head about us. You feel me? It basically like even
They
if they
sound like mammies, bro. They act like mammies. They're basically playing the ignorant mammy stereotype. That's
exactly
basically what
exactly
they're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly
and
that's
the
what
funny thing
damaging to
about them,
them.
listen to the way that they speak. It actually sounds like they're trying to sound more ignorant than they already sound. Like when I wanted to play the clip, if you listen to the way they speak, they were saying, "Oh, look at Dr. Fusi." That they call him Fusi. They're like, "Look at Dr. Fusi," and he was talking about the AIDS virus, and he was salivatating. I'm like, salivatating? I think it's salivating. And like, if you just listen to them, they mispronounce a lot of words. They're using terrible grammar, and it's honestly just making making black people look very ignorant.
It's a minstrel show.
Yeah,
That's yeah, exactly what I want to say. You were
pretty sure
basically
they're
wrapped it up.
paid.
It's a minstrel show. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, they are really annoying, but like, then they get fired from Fox, and so like, unlike the other ones, they basically don't have much of a platform anymore, and therefore they can't really do much.
I'm not really. Did they get fired from Fox?
They got fired from
Or that
Fox.
they're claiming
They
racism
did.
and got fired.
So it's the same situation as with Stacey Dash. They get used up, and then they get they basically get ringed out and disposed of.
Exactly. Exactly. They just got ran through. You feel me? They basically the thoughts of conservatives. You feel me? They're basically the thought of the conservative media. They get ran through and just get passed on to somebody else. They don't need you no more. You feel me? Basically Fox News is future, and they're just another IG thought. Basically, that's basically how it is.
Perfect analogy. Perfect analogy. Yeah, they're a funny couple. I mean, I can't take them seriously. But I don't even think conservative. I don't even think Trump supporters, when they watch them, take them seriously. I'm pretty sure that's not even. I don't know if they watch them, they're probably just liking them because they're Trump supporters. But if you really think of them, they don't respect them. I can't see how any of them respect them
at all. I don't see.
But,
I don't see Trump supporters respecting them at all because, like, just like you said, man, they're a minstrel show, yo. At the end of the day, like a minstrel show is good for a little bit, but people lose their flavor. You feel me? Things decline after a while. Look at Kevin Hart. His chick declined after several years.
I never thought it was all that funny. I mean, I thought it was funny, but he did to me he doesn't really compare to like the 90s, 80s comedians or even the early 2000s comedians. He was never really all that funny to me.
Yeah. He was always okay to me. It's just that over the years he declined. His chick is telling stories in a comedic way. He's not really a stand-up audience person, but even after a while, his stories got boring. You know what I mean? Like there's only so much you can say. You feel me? But like exactly. I think that was with when it comes to Diamond and Silk, man, that's the entire thing with them, man. Their damage is that they put on a minstrel show. You feel me? And they put on this image towards a mostly white audience of how black people are or how black women are and how they act. You feel what I'm saying? And it causes. It causes an image of us that is damaging. You feel me? And I don't know, man. There's nothing more than that. That's images are powerful, man. Images are powerful. People don't realize how powerful images can be, and if that's what you want to put out there, into society,
average church lady, the church going black lady, acts like that.
Acts like that, exactly. They're really gonna think that the average 30-something-year-old black woman is that basically. Mm-hmm. I mean, a person who say salvalating and Dr. Fusi, like just completely uneducated people. You know, you feel me? And it's sickening, and that makes me sick. That's their damage to the black image, to the black community. To me, You know what I mean?
Just a poor stain, on black people. But yeah, then I would think we probably should move on to the next one, Candace Owens. I think she might even be a bit worse than Diamond and Silk because the thing is, she's actually intelligent with it, which is sad. She's actually educated to the point that she knows exactly what she's doing. I know she's probably paid off, but at the same time, she voluntarily went over to the side anyway. And she's made quite a few terrible comments. Like regarding the black community and racism and all that. My main issue with her is that she is a liar. Like, okay, I remember she said that racism is a lie, racism doesn't exist. And the craziest part is she sued her high school for racism, like racial discrimination. I believe they threatened to kill her or something crazy like that. And she had the whole NAACP supporting her during that whole situation. And like to just basically ignore the history that like your own past and say racism doesn't exist. Like I think that's just idiotic, and like you think people aren't going to look up your past? Like I don't know, man. That was one thing. And then the other thing recently, or actually it was last year, when she was making comments about Hitler, saying like she was saying it was taken out of context, saying that Hitler was only bad once he became a globalist, like a world domination globalist. But the issue is, like, she's saying nationalism itself is not actually a bad concept. The thing about it is, when people become nationalists, they typically, especially like someone as racist as Hitler, they typically become a racial nationalist, and that is always a toxic thing. So,
exactly, completely agree. I mean, just like I was saying before, one of her main on an intellectual level, that was two main issues was actually three main issues. One, she's a grifter. She knows the things that she says are controversial, and she knows that they're only half the story. You feel me? But because it's gonna make her money, it's gonna give her views, she says them anyway. You feel me? Like for example, when she went after Cardi B a few months ago, Cardi B is not a political philosopher. Cardi B is not a political debater. Cardi B is not a pundit. She's a rapper. She makes music. She makes raunchy music. She knows
barely speak English.
Yeah, exactly. She could hardly put two sentences together. Now, I don't believe Cardi B is stupid. That's one thing. Being stupid and being uncouth are two different things. Cardi B is just extremely uncouth, but I don't believe she's dumb. You know what I mean? But the fact that she is uncouth is gonna come off as dumb to people. Yeah, I know.
Oh, hey, I don't know, man. She has snitched on herself like a lot of rappers. That when a rapper snitches on himself, that is stupid.
Stupid. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like she snitched on herself about raping men and robbing men. I don't know. That's a little stupid.
Yeah,
that's a little crazy.
To be fair, like Cardi B did put her in the situation to be like a political figure when she decided to go with Joe Biden on that one thing, his interview.
I mean, that's just because politicians like to pander, but I don't blame her for that. But I mean is that when I say the difference between uncouth and stupid is that a stupid person is just the Dunning-Kruger effect. If y'all know what that is, look it up. The Dunning-Kruger effect. They think they know more than what they do. People who just have no type of intelligence at all. You feel me? Now, an uncouth person is just like Cardi B. They'll just fly off the tongue and say whatever. You feel what I'm saying? But I believe she has some sort of an intelligence on her. She just doesn't know how to utilize it correctly. You know what I mean? But the main point is that she is not a pundit or a debater. She's not a political person. She's not gonna know how to debate people. You feel me? So one of my issues with Candace in that entire situation is that she went after basically an easy target. That doesn't make you smart. That just makes you a bully, in my opinion. And I think that's one of my main issues that's been going with the right wing in the past recent years. They've been becoming bullies, and they believe that it's a good thing to be a bully. Like being a bully is not a good thing. I don't know why they believe this for all of a sudden.
They go after weak targets. People who aren't even political.
People who aren't political.
Instead of actually debating people on an equal playing field. I mean, not Cardi. Candace, she has debated people on an equal playing field. Like just random people, well, not people who are like actual political figures on the left side as well. But I think that the fact that, like, I agree with you. The fact that she went against Candace, I mean, oof, I cannot get these names right. Went against Cardi B, someone that we all know is like not a politically educated person. I think that was kind of silly. Like, I definitely lost even more. Like, I lost more respect for her than I already didn't even have for her to begin with. Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
honestly already lost respect for her when she was talking about the George Floyd thing, saying that basically she was kind of validating all the comments on the right, which were basically saying that we're treating him as if he's some kind of patron saint, or we're treating him like like he's
A
Jesus or
martyr.
something like that. Yeah, a martyr or Jesus or patron, like all that kind of stuff. And it's like the problem is it's not even about that. It's not that he was the greatest person in the world or anything. It's just that a human being should not be subjected to what had happened to him.
Exactly.
And if you want to interpret it as us thinking that he's the greatest person in the world, that's your issue. The thing is, no human being, like, I forgot what exactly what was the amendment? Was that the Fourth Amendment? No cruel and unusual punishment, or
Cruel
was
and
it
unusual
six?
punishment. Exactly. Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, exactly. That's a protection under the Fourth Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a cop, they're not the judge, jury, and executioner. They're only supposed to enforce the law and bring people to jail, and then they go to court, and then they receive their sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly. For me, that's I think that's always been my issue with her is one, she's a grifter. She just says controversial things to get money. You feel me? And she knows that it's not the full picture. She knows what she says is gonna be controversial. She knows going after George Floyd when the left was holding up as an example of police brutality. She knows going after them was gonna be controversial. She knows. You know what I mean? So it was gonna bring her views though. You feel me? She knows going after Cardi B was gonna ignite the social conservatives who are against the third wave feminism and hip hop and everything like that, because like the social conservatives for a while have been against hip hop. We know that. You know what I mean? It's been a while since that. But am I cutting in and out? Can you guys hear me? Am I better now?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we known that for a while now. You feel me? So it's basically her just being a grifter, saying things to get money. And number two, my other issue with her is just like you brought up before, where she knows that racism exists in this country and she completely denies. She's completely intellectually dishonest. And I really can't stand intellectually dishonest people. When you know something is incorrect, but you're rolling with it anyway, or there's another side to the argument that you just simply do not address. You know what I mean? She's extremely intellectually dishonest, and just like I said
She's
before,
betraying
man,
her
she
own
bashes on the
past.
left.
It's like
Exactly.
she's literally betraying her own past and betraying the people who help defend her in the racism that she had sued people for. Actually, I remember watching a video from one man. A man, I know you say you don't like Boyce Watkins. However, he did a breakdown of Candace Owens. And he was just saying that, like, he basically pointed out all the things she's done in her life, and he basically said she's kind of a fraud. Like, one thing that she did was she actually was in some really expensive apartment up north. I can't remember if it was in New York. But when she was in college, she was paying, like, I think $4,000 rent or something like that at this apartment. And instead of, like, trying to figure out a way to pay for it legitimately, what she did was I believe she tried to sue the landlord for racism or something like that. Like, the thing is, you notice about her is that there's a pattern of her accusing someone of racism, like basically getting into a bad situation, accusing them of racism, even if there may or may not be racism, although it could be possible. But she uses that to wiggle her way out. But then at the same time, she says racism doesn't exist. Like, I remember, like, whenever sometimes she'll talk to conservatives, or she might just be talking to some other politician at some kind of panel or conference, right? And then randomly they'll make a comment or something, and then she'll turn around and say, "Oh, that's racist." Like, she plays the same race card that she claims that black people will be playing, or black people overuse. So she's actually a hypocrite as well.
Exactly, man. Exactly, and I believe, just like I've said about Brandon Tatum the last time, she placates and she plays on like diet racism, and she kind of makes excuses for it. You feel me? She's one of, like, just like I said about Brandon Tatum, the the diet racist that we know, the white person who's gonna say something racist and say I have a black friend, she's the black friend. That's basically what on what she is. She's held up as that person that agrees with everything, every racist thing that they say, and because a black person agrees with them, they're gonna go ahead and say it. She basically says things that racist white people can't say. You feel me? She's the black shield basically, and that's why I can't stand her. I've been able to stand her since she came out. You feel me? Especially with the whole, the myth of the coon type of thing. You feel me? Like, nah, you're not a coon because you're a conservative. I know plenty of conservatives. You feel me? My dad, for all intents and purposes, is a social conservative. But I know my pops isn't a coon. You feel me? If the Republicans simply, were for police reform, my pops would probably vote Republican. You know what I'm saying? So like it's not about what you what you believe. It's about the things that, not only about the message that you bring out, but your narrative that you play and the things that you say against black culture immediately. And that's my fourth problem with her. Her entire ignorance about black culture. And she knows better. That's the crazy thing. She knows better about black culture, but because
I don't think she does.
More,
I honestly don't think she does know better about black culture, man. She doesn't even know where anyone who knows anything about hip hop knows where Jay-Z is from. She doesn't even know where he's from. Everybody knows he's from Harlem. But I forgot where she said he was from, but it was completely off. I'm just like, what? Oh, no, she said he was from Queens.
Yeah,
she said he was from Queens. You listen to any of his music, you know exactly where he's from. And like, I know I've listened to a video before. It definitely seems like she's kind of out of touch with black culture. Like, to be honest, like she just doesn't.
Very much.
She talks about black people as if she's an outsider.
She's very much out of touch with black culture. Very, very much. Yeah, I mean, and I'm sorry, what was that, Riley?
I said just like Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, she was like, this is a little topic, but I remember Kamala. She was like, "Yeah, I was back in college, and I was smoking weed and listening to Tupac." Mind you, she graduated from college in 1988. So since Tupac was literally a child, Tupac was 15 years old or 15, 16 years old. No, we know he hadn't released even one album yet. He probably was still writing poems and interviewing random people at his high school. He definitely didn't have any music yet.
Exactly, you know what I mean? But with Kamala, I feel that was just pandering. Of course, she was just pandering. That happens. But with Candace, she attacks black culture because not only is she out of touch, she doesn't want to be in touch. Because the thing is, we already know, like a person like Ben Shapiro, we see him don't really go after black culture much. The only thing about black culture that Ben Shapiro goes after is rap. He doesn't really go after anything else. If you guys notice that. And the reason he doesn't is because he knows that he'll get called out for being racist for saying it. So just like I said before, they use Candace as a black shield to go after it. You know what I mean? And she doesn't understand. I don't know about black culture at all. Yeah, you feel me? Just like you were saying, she's completely out of touch, and she probably hasn't been in touch with black culture since she was a kid. You feel me? And it's
like she even made a comment. She made a comment once saying that black people all that we celebrate is ignorance, degeneracy, and failure. And we celebrate the thugs, we celebrate all this negative stuff. But it's like she completely forget that there's a lot of black families that do celebrate their HBCU graduates, or their college graduates, wherever school they go to. We have our BET Image Awards. We have a lot of different awards that celebrate black success. We have many different magazines. We have Black Enterprise magazine. So we definitely celebrate positive success. The thing is, though, if you think about it, all people in some way, though, they have kind of like this sort of glorification of the gangster. Like, look at Scarface, the greatest Scarface and of course the Godfather, two of the greatest gangster movies ever. And look at where they were glorifying. One was glorifying, some white Italians, and the other was glorifying a white Cuban. Like,
exactly.
So,
and I was gonna add to that as well. I think that's the reason why people like Cole and Cotton, the Beige Twins, and Candace Owens are damaging. is because the points that they bring out, a person who's racially ignorant, or like I said, a diet racist, they're gonna use those same points, because just like how you said, that or she said that black people only glorify or celebrate ignorance and degeneracy. I've heard that from a white person before. You feel me? And I heard that like literally right after she said it. Now I understand that correlation and causation. I understand the whole thing about correlation and causation. I understand that, but you can't really deny that that's a very strange coincidence that a week after she said it, a white conservative is repeating it to me. You feel me? That's a very close coincidence. You know what I mean? And I believe that's the damage that they can cause. They people who truly but already are ignorant about black culture, and these black people are saying stuff about it, and they're basically that's just what they're gonna go with. That's what they believe about black culture. And I had to, not only is that extremely, not only is this offensive, because anything can be offensive, but this is simply factually incorrect. Just like how you said, the only thing, I mean, we can just go online, put in hashtag Black Excellence, and see a celebration of success. So she's just factually
a lot
incorrect.
of
It's not
things.
even, exactly. It's not even me feeling a certain type of way. I had a whole debate with a person about this. I'll be like, yo, it's not me feeling type of way. You are factually incorrect about this. And all I did was put in the hashtag. I said, okay, I'm typing in this hashtag. I typed in Black Excellence. I said, push that in your search bar and tell me what you see. Are black people celebrating the degeneracy in Black Excellence, or are they celebrating success? You feel me? And they were like, oh, but that's not what we see. You feel me? And it's like, you don't see that because you don't search for it. You're just going off what she says. You feel me? So like, she perpetuates ignorance. She perpetuates ignorance about black culture, and I believe that that's why she's top right now, because she's really the most famous one of all the people on this list. I think she has the most influence. She's at the top right now for me of the most damaging of these people.
Yeah, I definitely think she's very damaging. And the thing is, I want to move on to the Beige Twins because they actually have like you said, they have a pretty similar platform, a pretty similar message as well. And I think they're probably a less damaging version of them. But I'd just like to say that one of their most damaging comments have been like, they were talking about how white privilege is a lie, and they were using the excuse that the whole Black Lives Matter movement is playing into white guilt. I think those are two completely different conversations, though, because white guilt has been a result of the white privilege. It's not a result. It's not a result of them just something random, like they're just randomly feeling guilty because of nothing. It's a result of the history, man. It's a result of history and the present, things that have still been going on that they know they don't have to really experience. So with that said, I don't know why they had to connect those two elements, like white privilege is a lie. No, they recognize it. And yeah, I do think, like, in the video you can see that there's a guy, he's telling a white person to get on their knees and basically reject white privilege and also reject whether they're a racist or support Donald Trump. I definitely think that's wrong. I mean, I do take a middle ground on that. I think that's completely wrong to do that. They go and make them get on their knees and submit and all that kind of all that stupid, ignorant, stupid gestures. That's not like, although all of those gestures are not producing legislation that's going to help black people, have better treatment in this country. It's not helping me get reparations. So I don't care about your gestures of being on your knees and saying sorry. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. So I think it's stupid that black people are doing that.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, the thing about the beige steroid niggas,
the beige niggas.
these beige steroid niggas, like not only do they have a platform that's completely disingenuous, which is like I just hate disingenuousness. I really don't. I can't stand it. You feel me? Not only is it completely disingenuous, is damaging in that way as well, when they tell you that white privilege just doesn't exist. Because even if you take white privilege as meaning that, oh well, first of all, people don't even understand white privilege anyway. But the fact that they'll tell you that, oh, white privilege doesn't exist, but they know that wealth privilege exists. Who is the demographic that's the most wealthy in this country? You feel me? Wealthiness is tied to whiteness, so there's no way to escape that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's the fact that they just completely ignore this aspect of what privilege is, and how did white people become the most wealthy in this nation? We know how they did. So I understand why. I really don't understand why they just ignore this entire aspect of this issue. You feel me?
How
And
would you
like
define white privilege?
exactly, and the beige steroid niggas, like, they give really bad, workout advice. But I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not a workout person, so
They don't
there are
even know how to
people
work
who
out. Let alone do
exactly. No, my nigga, I do 100 push-ups every day, and that's it. You feel me? That's my workout. You feel me? 100 push-ups, run a mile. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my workout. But you feel me? I know they give very bad workout advice, especially when they tell you not to eat soy because it makes you effeminate and all this other shit that's just not scientific.
They get that from those stupid bro science websites that every guy has been looking at since he was 18 years old because he wanted to get buff. Those same websites
exactly.
I've looked at and every guy has looked at, those bro science, pseudoscience.
Exactly. Like they're looking at gym bro science. You feel me? And like it's always been a thing with them. Like that my main problem with them is always their platform of not providing any solution, bashing on the left, and promoting conspiracy theories. I think that right there is the most damaging part of them, promoting conspiracy theories. Just like Diamond and so they promote the voter fraud thing. They promote the whole soy thing. They promote the whole left wants to take away manhood type of thing. Now I understand the criticisms of the left when it comes to masculinity. I completely understand those. There are many aspects of what the left talks about masculinity that I disagree with. As a matter of fact,
I actually would agree that the left. I feel like the left is attacking masculinity, but
yeah. It's like I'm a more of a nuanced approach. I think they're attacking certain aspects of masculinity, not masculinity as a whole. But I do understand how it come off of them attacking masculinity as a whole because some of them do that. Like, so I understand that. You feel what I'm saying? But what they do is they just take it to the extreme. They're talking about the left wants everybody to be effeminate and be a woman and everything like that, and we know that's just not true. You know what I'm saying? So it's their damaging aspect to me is just promoting conspiracy theories. And y'all know me, just like my rant in the first 10 minutes of this video. I hate conspiracy theories because it damages progress and it actually leads to people
they're hard
dying.
to disprove. They're very hard to disprove.
Exactly. They're very hard to disprove. Not only that, they're very hard to disprove, but it limits conversation and it actually leads to people dying. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these abortion clinics who get bombed, and Dr. Tiller, who was an abortion doctor who got killed, he was killed by conspiracy theorists. You know what I'm saying? So these things do lead to people dying. I remember Pizzagate when a guy ran into a pizza shop with an AK-47. Think about if he started shooting, people would have died. You know what I mean? So promoting conspiracy theories, it leads to harassment, it leads to mental damage. And me trying to be I want to be a clinical therapist one day. So the fact that people are still being harassed by Sandy Hook, by conspiracy theorists that they sacrifice their kids, or they're not or they put in a false flag. You know what I mean? So stuff like that is. Let me stop ranting. I'm gonna let somebody else go. I'm my bad, y'all. But
like the thing about like these people like this is that they take like the extreme version, like the one extreme version, and ignore all like the thing that disproves it to prove their point. And it's
confirmation bias.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, because the thing is, the Hodge Twins, they're definitely playing into those fears. I mean, all those are just like paranoias that have been validated, and then it keeps building and building. It's like building up like a snowball effect. So I definitely think they're pretty damaging. They're kind of crazy. I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. Maybe because they've realized what their audience is. Because I actually used to like those guys back in the day when back in like 2011, 2012. I thought they were pretty funny, but they've taken a turn for the worst, I guess. But again, how would you define white privilege?
I would define white privilege as it sounds really simple, but basically when it comes to society, white privilege is two things. One, white is the default human, and number two, white white equals benefit of the doubt. And what I mean by default,
There you go.
yeah, and what I mean by default human is that if you look at every piece of media, or just about almost every piece of media that is created, especially in America and the West, and mainly America, but in America and of course the West as well in Europe, even people who do like fantasy things and like sci-fi, when they create characters, they literally create white characters. And if they create characters that are not white, the character is built in a world around them. Let me give an example of this. An example of this is the Netflix movie Bright. Now we've all seen I don't know if y'all seen Bright or not.
Yeah, I've seen that
Right?
movie with
You've
Will
seen it,
Smith
right?
in it. It's a
Exactly.
really good movie.
It's good. I liked it. I don't know why I have bad reviews. I really liked it. But like it's built in a yeah, it's built in a fantasy world where basically Lord of the Rings happened, but like it progresses to modern times. But if you look at that movie, it's a fantasy movie, of course. So it has fairies, it has orcs, it has it has elves and dwarves and
All
all
these
that.
different races, yeah.
All these different races
of people.
Exactly, all these different races of people, but all of them were invented by Europeans. You know what I mean? There are no like Chinese dragons in there. There is no Anansi the spider in Bright. You know what I mean? And these are fantasies that come from outside of Europe, but it's not built into that world. You know what I'm saying? And you would think that a world that, where black people are in America, we know how black people got here. So there's no way that fantasy and, orcs existed in Europe, but Africa was completely devoid of magic. That's not possible. You feel me? But nothing from mythological Africa existed in Bright. So that's what I mean by when I say that white is basically the default human. You know what I mean? Even in sci-fi, their culture is taken as the default, basically. It's just a given that they exist. You know what I'm saying? Everything outside of that is extra or doesn't exist at all. Another example is the show Supernatural. What's up, Moth? What's going on, bro?
Hey.
Yeah, another example I'll give this is the show Supernatural just ended. Now, let me tell you, I love Supernatural. Supernatural is one of my favorite shows. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Supernatural is one of my favorite shows. But in that show, through the past 15 seasons, in 15 years, nothing about African supernaturalism was even ever mentioned. Well, it was mentioned once or twice. Like the voodoo god Legba, he was mentioned, but like anything outside of that was not even mentioned. They didn't even go into it. You feel me? And there were black characters on the show. They ran to black people on the show, so it's not like Africans don't exist in this world. They do, but nothing about our magic, nothing about that existed. You feel me? So white is basically the default human. But this is getting too long. Let me get to the point. And not only that, whites are given the benefit of the doubt. For example, we all know that if a cop stops a white teen with weed on them, he'll probably just send him home. But if a cop has a black teen with weed on him,
he's definitely getting arrested.
You know what I'm saying? So benefit of the doubt is given more to what, but that's what I mean by white privilege. I'm sorry, I know this got long and expressive, but
I agree with that. White privilege. I think people misunderstand it, and I think they believe that white privilege automatically means that you're going to be like rich like Donald Trump or something like that. That's not really what it is. What it is you have, like you said, the default human. You have the privilege of individuality. Like you have the privilege where you can apply for a job and your name, your name can be stereotypical and it's not going to affect your job outcomes. You're not going to be stereotyped by police or whatever. You're not going to be stopped and frisked. You're also not going to basically if you're going into a certain area or whatever, you're not going to be profiled by the people in a shop or whatever. Like that's essentially white privilege. Also, you're more likely to be born with wealth because you have generational wealth that we already know the history. Much of that wealth has been taken away from Native Americans and opportunities that that have been created to allow them to create that wealth. And many of those properties have been taken away from Black people who own those properties that you have inherited money from or inherited wealth from. So that's white privilege. It's not you're automatically going to be a millionaire just because you're white. It's just that everything has been made easier, and your life is not going to be made harder because of your race. So that's basically white privilege. But yeah, I think we're gonna move on lastly to Doja Cat. Honestly, Doja Cat, she's like a I don't know, I hate to say it, man. She's one of the confused mixed people who don't know exactly where they want to be or what community they want to be in. Because the thing is, she's actually half South African, and there's many comments where she's complaining about her hair being curly, or she's just complaining about being Black. I believe she made a comment saying being Black is just such a she said something to the effect of being Black is just such a burden. She wishes she was more white and all this stuff, and it's just like very damaging. But then at the same time, she wants to apologize because she knows she's losing fans, and then say stuff like, "Oh, I'm to whoever this insulted, I'm sorry. This doesn't really represent what I really think or represent my mentality." But I think this is so. I hate when people apologize like that. Just say. Like, don't even apologize. Just say, I have self-hatred issues. Just say that's it. Don't apologize.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's one of the other women on this post. Like, the thing is when with the whole Doja Cat situation, talking about she doesn't, like being Black or whatever. Like, I really thought that was an insult to Black women everywhere. You feel me? Like. Riley, what do you think this whole Doja Cat situation where she was talking about her curly hair and not wanting to be Black and all that other type of stuff?
I don't know, cause like when I see her, I don't see me. She doesn't really look like typical Black person to me. But like I just think that she's just the epitome of being insecure and self-hatred. Cause like I believe her dad left her too when she was younger. And then she's not even really in touch with her Black side because he was raised by her white mom.
Yep. And the effect of that is that she used to join chat rooms full of alt-right people. And the thing is that alt-right movement, like the mentality of them is basically like a hop and a skip away from white nationalism and neo-Nazis. So to be in a chat with them, talking amongst them, and just kind of learning how they think. Like if you stay in those chats too long, as a person who doesn't really have a connection to your Blackness, essentially, like you're going to pick up their viewpoints, and that's what led to her making this song. Didn't do nothing. Like she made a song, didn't do nothing, which is pretty close to like if you listen to it, it sounds like she's trying to make fun of or insult Sandra Bland, who died a few years ago in a jail. So it's just. It's really, really insulting from her, and I've never even heard of her until recently when she made those self-hating comments, and I don't plan to listen to her music at any point. Like honestly, I didn't even think she was mixed until people told me. I thought she was like Hispanic or something, to be honest.
Yeah, and she's still like winning Grammys and like awards, so she's clearly not canceled.
Winning awards in BET?
No, it was like the Grammys, I think. I can't remember which one it was. He won Best Artist in one of those big shows.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say if BET is still getting awards and they're I don't know. I can't support that network anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Doja Cat, her damage is basically that she's a person that she's a rapper, so of course we know rappers have influence. They know that they put out messages to people out there. And of course, like just like Riley said, she doesn't see herself in Doja Cat, but there are people who do see themselves in Doja Cat. You feel me? Like that's not an insult to you, Riley. Of course, like you don't see yourself in her. That's fine. But I'm just talking about the girls who do. You feel me? I do know like girls who are fully Black, like two Black parents, and no lie, they have the same complexion as Doja Cat. You feel me?
Oh yeah, I got people lie to her.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not like they have one white parent or a white grandparent or anything like that.
Yeah.
Two Black parents, two Black grandparents. They look like Doja Cat. You feel me? So it's one of those things. where like if they're fans of her, those type of girls with her complexion are gonna see themselves in her. If she's putting out this type of self-hate comments, they're gonna start looking at themselves. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the type of damage I believe she can cause, where she just has these self-hatred, these wish she was lighter, she being black is just awful bad thing. You know what I mean? And those girls are gonna internalize that and take that home and be like, you know what, maybe being black, maybe being light skinned, even though I get hollered at by all these dudes, maybe being black is a lesser thing. You feel me? And they could internalize self-hate problems. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the damage she causes. Now, what I would say about her is that damage is more contained and we can address it more readily within the black community. We can tell these girls that, hey, being black is not a problem. You don't need to lighten your skin. You are beautiful the way you are. We can address that more, efficiently than the other three who interact more with a dominant society and put out damaging information and damaging ideas about us. Her damaging idea can be
mitigated,
contained.
Yeah,
exactly.
it can be mitigated.
It can be
just by
mitigated.
communicating with our own people.
That's
those are the only people she's damaging or brain, that she may have a brainwashing effect on.
Exactly, which is why I think even though she's damaging, we can contain her damage. The other three, man, I don't like these niggas, man.
I see. I don't know who do y'all think is the worst out of this group?
That's a good one.
I'm putting my vote in right now. Candace Owens is probably the worst.
Yeah, I was leaning to
with that last point. With that last point where you made that Doja Cat, we can kind of contain the damage that she has on the community. I think that's the main aspect that is going to prevent me from making her number one. Because honestly, I would say that her comments alone, like in a vacuum, are much worse than what the other people are saying. Because she's literally at this point just attacking and disparaging black people. However, like you said, you can contain her impact, and because those are the only people she's damaging and basically speaking to, and we can do. There are many ways we can honestly just, if we have children that are listening to that, you can just shut the music off or block her. Yeah, but Candace Owens and the other two, they're literally like speaking to the people that you meet every single day as you walk around.
Exactly, and not only that, they speak to social, like they speak to legal influencers. Now there are social influencers, people on YouTube and shit. They could just talk everything every day and people follow them, but legal influencers are much more powerful. And people like Candace Owens, they speak to legal influencers, think tanks that get lobby the government to put in certain policy decisions in. You feel me? She speaks to those people. So it's like, and not only that, she's much more known, she's much more powerful because she's actually met the president before.
Yes.
So much more powerful, much more known than Colin Cotton, who got fired, and the steroid niggas.
The steroid dudes, they're gonna stay in that C-level celebrity, that C celebrity status, that C or D level celebrity status. They're just YouTube, basically just major social media influencers. Candace Owens has elevated past that. She was literally on Revolt TV last year debating stuff. So she has a pretty big impact. She's main at this point. If you've really been following just anything black media or whatever, she's pretty mainstream at this point. She's like the biggest face of the black conservative movement.
Exactly. You feel me? And she got elevated to that point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going with Candace on this one. Not only for being a grifter, but the damage she can
indirectly cause
and just being intentionally dishonest, man. Exactly. And the damage she can cause by having legal influence and saying that white supremacy is not an issue and racism doesn't exist, and just all of that, man. That makes her
racism doesn't exist. Besides that time where I sued multiple people for it. Oh yeah, forget about that. Oh, one thing too about her, man, I almost forgot to mention. I remember a couple of years back, I just hated what she was doing. This is the first thing that made me turn away from her. She was traveling with this guy. I can't remember his name. He's this white conservative guy. She was traveling around to like different schools talking to black people. But like, it just looked so bad because her and this white guy were talking trash to black people. And I just think that is just so, that is
The optics of that is
sellout
so
stuff,
terrible,
man.
bro.
That is some sellout stuff. Like going around with this conservative white guy talking trash about the black community. Like,
Oh my God.
do you know how that looks? Like, she
That's
just doesn't understand diplomacy, dude. Like,
That's a
at
bad
all.
look, man. You do not go with a white guy talking about how much black culture sucks to black schools,
HBCUs.
bro. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even allow that though. Like, why did the school allow that? That's what doesn't
I
make
don't know why
No,
school
the
even
thing is,
allowed
they're not illegal. I mean, the thing is, it's not like anything she said was like she didn't really curse, or it's not like they're they're not like pure evil like a white supremacist. It's just that they have a lot of ignorant conservative comments and stuff. Like, so the school can basically allow that as free speech. It's just that, like you said, the optics of it. You're bringing a white guy to all these. I can't remember if they're all HBCUs, but many of them were HBCUs, and many of them may have just been black student unions. And she was just talking to him, and just the way that she talked to them, talked down to them, having a white guy standing back and watching, and also talking and making the same comments. Like,
Ooh.
no one's going to listen to you when you do that. Like, it's bad enough you make dumb comments, but it's also even worse when you have this conservative white guy talking down to us too. Like, that's double the impact.
That's exactly, bro. Like, when the next time Turning Point USA has a tour and they're around your way, let me know, bro. So we both could go there and we could be like, hey, listen, bitch. You feel me? You gonna be doing this around here, fam. Like, this ain't it. This ain't it. You feel me?
Right. And I think that's the overall issue. Wait, Riley, first, before I go ahead, go in on Candace again. Who would you vote as the worst?
All right. I'm just gonna break it down. The Silk Sweater book. I forgot her name already.
Diamond. Oh, Cole and Cotton.
Silk and Diamond. They fired. They're gonna be forgotten soon. They don't have any real power. The twins. They only get like 700K, and they're all from conservative. Doja Cat is just insecure. But yeah, I think Candace Owens.
Yeah, true. Yeah, okay. We all agree Candace Owens is definitely the worst. But one thing about her, I think that this is my overall issue with many of the black conservatives. It's not just what they say, it's where they say it, who they say it to, and how they craft the argument. Like, okay, you guys have seen the Larry Elder video, and he talks about black people are bad at tip or terrible tippers or whatever. And the thing is, like, he's saying that is a cause of bad race relations. Such a small petty issue that even whether it's true or not, like, I think it's kind of stupid anyway. But whether it's true or not, let's say it is true. How is something so small and petty going to affect something as serious as race relations, man? Like, you have all of these major issues that have been going on. You have like you want to say that, okay, like, come on, man. Tipping is going to affect race relations. Let's just forget about, let's forget about all the things that's happened to our grandparents and great grandparents, or even myself. I've experienced quite a bit of racism. Like, let's just forget about all of that. Let's blame race relations on black people because of tipping.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's intellectual dishonesty, man. Like, and you're talking to a white audience about that.
It's like, not only is it intellectual dishonesty, it feeds into the mindset that black people actually owe white people something.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And we don't owe them a damn thing. You feel me? It kind of, if you would think about it, it feeds into that mindset because, like, oh, black folks are bad tippers, so that's why this cop is gonna treat you this way. That's why this white corporation is not gonna hire you. That's why these people are gonna do this because this black person at this obscure restaurant in South Carolina somewhere didn't tip this white person well. You feel me? It feeds into the mindset that we owe them some shit. We don't owe them a damn thing. You feel me? You're not owed a tip. You know what I mean? Not only are you not owed a tip, it doesn't even go into the subject of why are black people bad tippers. You feel me? Maybe they just don't have the money to be good tippers. Maybe you gave them bullshit service, so they don't want to tip you well. You feel me? You're not owed a tip just because you're there.
I mean, one of the last things we gotta do is telling black people to spend more money on things that's not investments.
Exactly.
Yes, I think it's kind of silly that, and that's my overall issue. Like the black conservatives, they pick the wrong things, and they know their audience. And if you want to fix any kind of issue, you need to talk to black people themselves. You don't need to just go up to like and make these kind of videos and criticize black people on a mass audience of people that are not black. That's not going to fix the issue. The thing is, it's gonna make it even worse. Talk to us directly. Don't talk to a 95% non-black audience and think that's ever going to fix the issue. It's not.
Facts.
But yeah, with that said, though, cotton and silk. I mean, cotton and I can't even say it, bro. Coal and cotton. Yeah, you got to say that, man. That's funny. Coal and cotton.
Coal and cotton.
Y'all out. The beige steroided Negroes, y'all out.
Yeah.
Doja Cat, you're out.
They ain't got nothing on.
And Candace Owens, you move on to the next round.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, you move on to the next round.
She's happy to be out.
Yep.
Candace Owens, she moves on to the next round.
Yep. All right, y'all.
Yo, it was a good episode, good show, good discussion. Any last thoughts?
Well, let's get ready for that next round, man. It's gonna be this next episode is gonna be exciting, man. It's crazy, man. Because we got Tommy Sotomayor coming up. We got we also got we got Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh my God, this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson, man. We also got Umar Johnson.
Oh man!
Oh my God! I'm going for the juggler now,
man. And then we got Charles Barkley.
Oh man! I can't wait for the next one, man.
Yep. All right. Catch y'all later.
Catch y'all. Have a good one.
All right.